I'm a lot more chipper than I was in those clips from earlier this morning. I am actively caffeinating and I am about to dig into some breakfast. I'm showered, I'm feeling great. This, as I'm sure you could tell from the title, is my vlog for the Squash That series Readathon put on by Is Bailey Reading and Kaylee Ray Reads. Today is the first day, October 7th, a Friday. I pulled an absolutely unhinged move and took PTO for today and for Monday. So I am dedicating today and Monday to reading. I have some plans for the weekend, which I will get into in a little bit. So I'll get into kind of reading plans real quick. I made a whole TBR video for, I guess, the last quarter of the year, but I also included my specific TBR for this readathon. The first books I'm starting with is the Hawthorne Legacy. I am about 100 pages into that. You were allowed to like start early, but those pages don't count towards your team, and you have to be less than 50% of the way through for like the negative points. I don't know, it's like a whole thing. I should be good. I should be able to get all the points I need from this book being only 100 pages in. And this morning I started The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. It is the second in the Heroes of Olympus series, and I managed to get 2 hours into that between getting ready this morning and going to the gym. I'm gonna eat some breakfast. I'm gonna let the dog out real quick. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and then plan till about noon-ish is to just read. It's 8 a.m. right now, so I should be able to eat breakfast really quick and then have a solid 3 to 4 hours for just reading. And then I need to get packed up because my boyfriend and I are heading to Spokane this weekend to go see a concert. I'm also getting a haircut in Spokane. That's at 3 p.m. so we gotta leave here around 1 to be able to get there on time for that. I gotta go pick up a book from the bookstore. Tomorrow we're gonna go to like a farm thing, and then the concert later that night, and then coming back Sunday, and then Monday we'll be all reading again. So feeling pretty good about it. Let's start off this readathon strong. Oh hey, it's about a little after 10 and I'm officially halfway through the Hawthorne Legacy, getting lots of answers. I'm actually really enjoying this so far. I had kind of seen some reviews that it didn't really live up to the first one, but I'm having a good time. And maybe that's because I have such a large gap between the first one and this one. I read the first one, I don't even know, long time ago. So I'm enjoying this one quite a bit so far. But I think I'm gonna have to take the dog on a walk because he is being a menace. So I will plug in my headphones and listen to some more of The Son of Neptune while I walk, so I'm just continuing to read for this readathon. So we got back from our trip to the big city, and while I say that somewhat facetiously, it is 10 times larger than the place where I live. At least 10 times larger. It is significantly larger than the town I live in. And whenever we end up going to Spokane, we usually end up spending quite a bit of money because it's a place where you can buy things. So I figured I'd do kind of a little general haul of all the stuff I bought and picked up, and then get back to reading because my team is significantly behind. I ordered a book from Auntie's bookstore, kind of the big independent bookstore there in Spokane. So I picked up the Kiss Curse, which I had already paid for, and then obviously while I was there I got sucked into buying some other stuff, and the first one of which was Until the Last Last of Me, the sequel to A History of What Comes Next, which I just finished a couple days ago and absolutely adored. So I might be trying to fit this into the next 2 weeks to read because I just loved A History of What Comes Next so much. So I hope I can squeeze this in as well. And then one I will not be squeezing in during this readathon or really getting through quickly at all. That is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This big ol' honkin' book. I have heard so much about it. Everyone I know who's read it has just loved it. And I imagine it probably is a really incredible book, but just the size of it is very intense. She's a thick one, but hopefully I will love it. Saturday, we went to a kind of pumpkin patch, or just kind of like a farm area in general up there in Spokane. A bunch of the farms do little touristy things, pumpkin patches, hot apple cider, tchotchke stands, sort of stuff. So the first one we went to, we bought a couple pumpkins and some butternut squash because I really wanted to make butternut squash soup this week. I have a little picture inserted of the pumpkins we bought because they're super cute and they're on our front porch now and they just look adorable. And then I also got this candle. If you can see the scent, it says bookworm. So I didn't just buy it just for that. It also smells really nice. And then at the concert last night, we did end up buying some merch. This is one of me and my boyfriend's absolute favorite bands. We were so happy to be able to go to the concert. So I will grab all of the merch we bought and show it to you guys. First up, we got the tour poster. So it has all the city and dates on it. We also got a bunch of shirts. We actually got 3 copies of this shirt. One for me, one for my boyfriend, and one for a friend. And then for another friend, we got For a Good Time, Call, what is this? 478 Bad Sons. So I don't know, thought this one was cute. And we have 2 really good friends who really like this band as well. So we got them some shirts. And then finally, we picked up 3 of their albums in vinyl. We don't own a record player, so I think this is my boyfriend's subtle way of telling me we need to start looking for record players. For now, we just have the vinyls, but we will soon have a record player in order to enjoy them. And then as far as reading progress, I managed to finish the Hawthorne Legacy while I was in Spokane. So got that one done. That felt good. I am about halfway through the Final Gambit, the 3rd book in the series. I guess you can see the bookmark from the bottom. I'm hoping I can finish this. Probably not today, but definitely by like early tomorrow morning, and then, you know, make some good progress that way. I ended up giving the Hawthorne Legacy about 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I can see why people who really enjoyed the first one may have not enjoyed the second one. And I think especially like with the 3rd one, all 3 of them are very different vibes I've kind of noticed so far. I also realized I never really explained what this trilogy is. This is the whole trilogy. In the first one, a young woman named Avery gets a mysterious call after her mom dies that she has inherited this insane estate down in Texas. She moves down there to realize the richest man in the world. I don't know if he's the richest man in the world, but he's like super uber rich, like billionaire, multi-billionaire, very rich. And she has inherited his entire estate out from under his family. So his family gets basically nothing. She gets everything with some stipulations. She has to live in the house for a year with the rest of the family. So it's kind of got a very Knives Out feel in that way, where just kind of this rando gets this entire estate. So the first book focuses on, it's a little bit more of a character study of the main character Avery herself, how she's dealing with all of this, how she's dealing with the dynamics of this family, which is very strange and odd. I think people who enjoyed this one, and specifically kind of the character study element of a poor girl with a Cinderella story winning it big, might not enjoy the Hawthorne Legacy as much, because we kind of get away from that kind of exploration of character study and socioeconomic status. It feels more of just like a traditional kind of Nancy Drew mystery, where there's all of these puzzles and games and they're solving things each chapter and learning new things about the family each chapter. So it definitely feels a little less highbrow than the first one. So I could see why that shift in vibe might be a little jarring for some people, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. And the 3rd one so far is kind of more of a mix of vibes of the first 2, I guess. It still feels kind of Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, solving puzzles, but like darker. So it just feels like I guess a little more aged up version of maybe the second one. I'm still not really getting like the vibes of the first one for certain. I would say so far the first one is definitely the best. So if you read the first one and really enjoy it and enjoy that specific part of it, you may not need to continue on with the rest. I'm gonna finish out this one because if I finish a series, I take away many points from the other team. So I'm going to get back to reading so that I can close out this series and get some more points. Hey, so it is still Sunday, but I just jump in and do a little bit of an update because I finished the Final Gambit, which is great because it will take away quite a few points from the other team, which is something my team desperately needs right now. But I actually ended up enjoying the end of it a lot more than I thought I would. The whole trilogy is a very convoluted soap opera-y mess with puzzles, basically. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll be rereading it anytime soon, but I think it's definitely worth a read if you were thinking about it. It's fun. It's a good time. You can whip through it pretty quick. And I had mentioned this in the little haul I did, but I think I'm definitely going to be starting Until the Last of Me next. I'm still just really thinking about a history of what comes next. I enjoyed it so much, so I think I will hopefully enjoy this one as well. I'll get caught up on another series and hopefully be able to whip through it pretty quick. Alright, I am done with my workout, showered, fed, working on caffeinated. Currently shortly after 9. The plan is to try to read my physical book for like an hour, and then I need to go to my dad's work and give him some camping supplies before he goes on a week-long trip. And then I guess I also need to teach him how to use pivot tables in Excel. I'm not really sure what he needs to know, but I guess I'm gonna find out when I get there. So yeah, for now I'm just going to be continuing on in Until the Last of Me. I got to about page 50 last night. I'm still really enjoying it. It's still a really good time. I think this one's gonna be even more action-packed than the first one, so I'm excited about that. I think we're gonna get a lot more modern science considering this one takes place in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I will catch up on another series, which will be great. So I'm gonna get to reading. This is not the best lighting situation, but it is a lighting situation. Taught my dad how to use pivot tables, so we're good there. My one kind of major chore for the day is done. I did make it to page 100 in Until the Last of Me, and I am still really enjoying it. It is such a good book. We are really gearing up towards something very interesting, I think, so I am excited for that. I'm a little over halfway in The Son of Neptune. I'm also really enjoying that. I think it's gonna be a super fun time, and I'm getting through it really fast. I'm only listening to it at 1.5 times speed, but I feel like I'm whipping through it pretty quick. For points reasons, I need to finish this one before I finish that one, so I need to get going on my physical read and save my audiobook. All right, I'm officially halfway through and about to start part 4 of Until the Last of Me, and I just want to like take a quick sec to like talk about this book and the first book in this series before I go eat lunch. It's so incredible. So the first one is A History of What Comes Next. I read it like 2 weeks ago and was very happy to pick this one up for the Squash This Series Readathon, or Squash That Series Readathon. But it follows a mother-daughter pair of aliens basically whose entire purpose for being on planet Earth is to help mankind get to the stars. These mother-daughter pairs have been around for like 3,000 years, so it started with the first pair, number 1, like 3,000 years ago, and they just continue to have daughters throughout the millennia. The first book follows 98 and 99, and this book seems to be mostly following pair 100, so we get to kind of see 3 different generations of women throughout the first book and this one, and it's just so good. So all of these these women are genetically identical, so they do have to like mate with a human man to like produce a baby, but the baby always comes out genetically identical to the mother. We get these little vignettes throughout the book, throughout their own story of others before them. It's always so incredible and moving, and it's just, how is this author giving me like so many feels for these basically one-off characters, because we're not following the 60th story, but like you'll get one chapter, a little vignette of their life, and you're just like, oh, it's getting me. These books are so good, and I am so happy I got them, and I am so bummed the third one's not coming out for like another year. Actually, I'm gonna look up the publication date for the third one, so the third one is expected in April of 2023, which is a very long time from now. I might have to see if it's on NetGalley, because I am obsessed. I am obsessed with this series. I am obsessed with these characters. There's so much to dig into here, and it's just so freaking good. Okay, I just finished Until the Last of Me, and it ended on a super big cliffhanger, and the third book is not on NetGalley, which is super heckin' rude, but I am obsessed. I am so happy I decided to throw this into the mix for this readathon. It was so good. This is definitely shaping up to be like my favorite sci-fi series ever, and probably one of my favorite series like overall. It's so good. It is so freaking good. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to put my love of this series away until April, unless I can find a way to get an arc of the third book at some point. I think I'm gonna try to jump into The Kiss Curse, which is the follow-up to the X-Hex, which I read last year and enjoyed thoroughly. I think this one follows the cousin, but we shall see. I don't think I'll do another check-in tonight. I may or may not check in tomorrow. It may be till Wednesday that you see me. This next week at work, especially with me taking today off, is going to be a nightmare. I have a lot going on, so I'm glad I managed to knock out 3 books in this first weekend. That definitely kind of puts me ahead of where I thought I would be. Cheers to me for getting that done, and I will check in later. Like I said, probably wouldn't be till Wednesday that I got back to another check-in, and it is in fact Wednesday, but I do have some updates. This morning I finished Son of Neptune. It is a very chunky book, so that was nice to get through. I started The Mark of Athena, which is an even chunkier book, so I'm really hoping that I can at least finish that one by the end of this. I don't have a lot of hope that I'll be able to get through the fourth one, but if I can at least get through this third one by the 23rd, that'll be great. In my physical read, I've officially made it to 100 pages of The Kiss Curse. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think the writer has a lot of clever ideas when it comes to how to use kind of the magic in the romance, and it's just really fun, but this book doesn't really feel like it was edited. It doesn't feel like an actual editor went through, read this, and made like notes on the physical words. Like, the story is really fun so far, really enjoying that. Like, the characters, they're great, but there was like a phrase that the author used to describe the same character in like the span of like 2 pages. They use that phrase like twice, and there's been a couple cases of like them misusing a word, and it just, that kind of takes me out of it. But I don't know, I'm hoping I can finish this by tomorrow. I still have quite a few pages left, but I can read it kind of fast. So really hope I can finish this by tomorrow and start fresh for the weekend with a new book. I'm gonna get back to reading. Hello, it is Thursday, and I spent an hour on the stair stepper machine to finish this bad boy, and I did it, and it's cute, and I enjoy it immensely. I think I mentioned this, but like, the writing, not very good, but everything else about it, so much fun, so cute. I had a really great time with this. It's a really fun Halloween time read if you're just looking for something fluffy, if you're not like a big horror person and you're still looking for a fun holiday read. Would definitely suggest this, as well as the X-Hex. So that brings me to a total of 5 books read in like the first week. Let's get a nice little glamour shot with my 4 physical reads and then my audiobook. But yes, feeling really good about my progress. As far as vlogging, this will be the end of this vlog. You know, it's basically the first week, Friday to Thursday. Tomorrow, my boyfriend and I will be leaving directly from work to go camping. Kind of the plan going into the next vlog is to have it be not really as much of a Squash That Series vlog. It will be a vlog dedicated, once again, to my Sigma Force nonsense. So I am planning on reading Kowalski's In Love, which is a short story that was published in between the second book in the Sigma Force series and this book. Will I be reading it as a part of Squash That Series? Yes, I will. Is it less than 30 pages? Yes, it is. Am I still going to count it as a book read? Yes, I am. I will be gaining 50 points for my team and taking away some points from the other team. And because I read that one, I will also be getting an extra prompt for this one because it will be counting as another installment. Is that cheating? I don't think so. Is that shady and playing a little dirty? Yes. Yes, it is. But my team is so far behind that we gotta start playing a little dirty. If we have any hopes and dreams of catching up, we will be starting to play a little dirty. So that's what you have to look forward to my next vlog. Some camping, some Sigma Force nonsense. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.